What's up, Serie Addicts? Welcome to another episode. Marco Romano with Tito Yang here to give you the recap of Matchday 21 in the Serie A plus the almost last, right? There's one more game left in the Champions League, but we're starting to get an idea of who may be going directly through the round of 16, who's going to the playoffs, some teams that may get left out. So we'll talk a little bit about the UCL as well, and we'll sprinkle here and there a little bit of what's going on in the transfer for some of the key teams as well. But a lot of interesting matches, a lot of donuts in some games for this match day, Tito. What
Yep.
what were your overall thoughts?
I mean, I gotta say, a lot of the results were very predictable. There were very few surprises. I think the Fiorentina match is probably a surprise. We're gonna talk about that later. Um, but otherwise, apart from that, it was pretty much par for the course. I think, like you said, a couple of donuts, but again, like the teams that needed the win won uh, in a lot of the games by the slimmest of margins. Obviously, couple of anomalies, Fiore and Juve were the anomalies of the day, but we'll go game by game. Starting with
And started
Atalanta
kicking
Pisa,
things
right?
off, right? The first matchup was Atalanta and Pisa. Obviously, still some hopes for Atalanta. Pisa, we know that they're going to be in the bottom. This was one that I did not see live, but
Late
starting off
goals.
with a 1-1 draw. At least it wasn't a 0-0 draw because we had a few
Hmm.
of those during this match day. But kind of unexpected. You would think that Atalanta would have walked away with all 3 points on this one.
Yeah.
Um, Important game for them. For these types of teams, you got to make sure that you walk away with those 3 points
Also,
if you're going to drop points against some of the teams at the top of the table.
I forgot my little light. Also, I wanted to say that it was until the 83rd minute that they waited in order to score. So they basically in the 83rd and I think it was the 87th, maybe, that they scored the other goal. Thing needs to go back to white. I feel like I'm changing colors right now. All right. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but we are back to our regular skin coloring.
Oh, this one it was a bit surprising that Pisa actually had more shots, not only on target but overall than Atalanta. Created more offensive opportunities offensively. Possession wise, Atalanta dominated, which was expected, but that was
Yeah.
one stat line that did catch my attention. Uh, Durosinmi, haven't heard about him before, but he scored in the 87th minute, and Kristovic, who has been kind of picking things up front for Atalanta, scored in the 83rd. Right, so two late goals for a 1-1 draw. Again, surprise more than anything that Atalanta was not able to walk away with the 3 points on this one. They had Scamacca, Saliuski, and De Catelare up front, so had some good players up front that you would hope that they could get some shots, a lot more shots on goal, create more opportunities. So it's again, props to Pisa for holding it down and keeping the 1-1 draw.
One thing I want to say about Pisa, though, you know, uh, one thing, and you can say this about Duros in me, like it would have been hard without him to get the draw. Probably very hard without Duros in me. It
Duro sin me.
would have been
Yeah,
very
but
hard without him.
yeah, that's a joke for our Spanish speaking friends who may be listening.
Anybody watching the subtitles is gonna get it.
But not a lot going on in this one, right? Aside from both goals. Carnesecchi, it sucks for him. He's a great keeper. I think Inter have been talking about like signing keepers and bringing somebody that's not Italian, which is ridiculous because we have so many great Italian goalkeepers that that's the dumbest thing for a
Yeah.
club like that to do. But I was surprised because the Catelare has been on fire as of late for Atalanta. Granted, they didn't have Lukman, just coming back from the Africa Cup
Just
of
one
Nations,
player
so
supposed to
probably
be Pisa.
getting him a little bit of rest. But yeah, like you said, zero excuses, right? They should have walked away with the win against Pisa, which
Yeah,
is Inter's next opponent. So let's see how we fare against them. Not an easy team, right?
they're
Some of the
tricky.
top teams have struggled
Yeah, they're
playing
tricky.
against Pisa. So it's the way the Serie A is this season that no team can be taken for granted.
That's true.
Any team in their given day can give you a run for your money and potentially steal a couple of points away from you.
Hmm.
Then we
Very,
had
very true.
Udinese Inter following
Udinese
up
Inter.
Pisa and Atalanta.
Yep,
1-0 victory for Inter on this one. Uh, Not the best match. I thought we definitely dominated the game, right? Possession wise, shots on goal, pretty much in every stat category.
completely.
But it actually took a good sub from Kibu. I gotta say, bringing in Pio Esposito from the bench, who
They've been doing all
assisted
right.
for a goal from Lautaro Martinez. He's surprising me, and quite frankly, with the way that Turam has been playing off of late and how inconsistent he is, I don't know if he's not 100% or what's going on. But for me, it's kind of a lack of effort uh, versus Pio. That anytime he comes in, he's like Lautaro, always putting pressure on the ball and just giving it
Yeah.
all he's got.
Just
Even
one,
Boni, before he
just
got
one
injured,
correction
was
though.
playing
Like
better.
Pio Esposito actually started this match. He came out in the
Mm,
68.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Thank you for the correction. Yeah.
yeah. Just a note.
Thinking about the other match. You are absolutely right. But he's been playing amazing. Anytime that he comes in, he creates an opportunity, and just having someone that can be that kind of uh, the the one with the back against goal, right? Just like being able to shift the play, hold the ball, right? Just holding the ball and letting players make their runs, and or getting fouled, because he also gets fouled a lot given his size.
Yeah,
It's something that
he's a
we
big boy.
also saw actually against Arsenal.
Yeah,
Even Arsenal, some of the Arsenal players were struggling with Pio Esposito, and he's just a kid. He's gonna probably get bigger, stronger.
yeah.
He's gonna get better for sure.
And then you're gonna go to Juve.
So it's gonna be interesting. But Turam has been struggling. Lautaro has been inconsistent as well. I think Inter are lucky that they have a lot of players like Di Marco that can get you goals. I made a joke the other day that right now the best striker at Inter is Di Marco, because every time that dude gets a shot, a chance, he puts it on frame, and more than likely he's gonna score if it's not deflected off of a defender, or the keeper doesn't make a good save. But at the end of the day, job done, right? 1-0 victory over Udinese that they beat us in the beginning of this season. So it's good to get the revenge against Udinese, and walk away with all 3 points and with a clean sheet, which has not been the case lately for Inter, with their struggle still in the defensive line, and with Summers still not being 100%, or at least playing at the level that he was last year at the end of the season in the Champions League.
Yeah. It's a good goal by Lautaro too, like holding off a couple people, changing directions, like in the middle of the box. Good pass by Esposito with like the side of the foot pass towards Lautaro, and then that was Lautaro like a El Toro type goal, like he just put his head down and he bodied the defenders, and then was able to put it past the keeper. That's a good striker to have, man. Like, you know what I'm tired of? Like, I watch a lot of strikers nowadays that fall down at like just the minimum contact. Like, whenever
Yeah,
they get touched, they just fall down, and a lot of times they lose like goal scoring opportunities. Like just in that same play that we were talking about, Esposito fell kind of easy, but luckily, as he was falling down, he was able to just like kind of like side pass the ball back to Lautaro. But I one thing I like about Lionel Messi, right, is that he doesn't dive like other Barcelona players. Like Barcelona players are notorious divers, but
yeah,
Messi is a guy that stays on his feet, and
Maybe.
I feel like Lautaro kind of has the same energy, you know, same energy. Like I'm gonna stay on my feet. I'm not gonna just fall down because if I'm next to the box with a freaking ball in my feet, like why would I just fall down? I got a goal scoring chance. You know what I mean? So props to Lautaro because he, like more often than not, I will see him try to stay on his feet versus just going for the dramatic flop, LeBron James style.
And listen, Lautaro, Inter fans get emotional after matches whenever he doesn't score. Oh, he can score in big games if because he didn't score against
That's
Arsenal.
bullshit.
And dude, like he's the captain.
Top
He's
of the league,
consistent.
top of the league in scoring
Uh,
right now.
hustles. Right, he's the first defender for Inter.
Yeah,
Diving for balls like in the 85th, 86th minute, trying to recover balls when we're even winning or
yeah.
comfortably or at least winning, which is leading by example, right? Which is what you want from your captain.
Hmm.
For me, what you described has been Turam lately. I think he's been diving and going to the ground way too quickly with some soft contact. I gotta be honest. Or he's getting rid of the ball way too quick, where he just
Yeah,
gets the pass and tries to do a fancy flick. Which, hey, 1 out of 10 times it works. He had a great assist for a goal not that long ago with a nice flick, but almost all the time he's just giving up possession, giving the ball to the other team. For me, it's just a lack of effort versus Esposito. That usually when you get the ball to him, he either gets fouled or he opens up the play to one of the sides, or he'll find Lautaro and somebody making a good uh, cut towards goal, and he'll make a good play.
yeah.
But Turam, he's got to get better because we need him for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play in this game, but he like I can agree with what you're saying about him. Like you see very different body language from him versus Lautaro. Lautaro looks like a very imposing striker, like when he's in the box, and Turam for his physicality, he scores a lot of goals is based off on being in the right spot at the right time and then his height. Like I feel he could
Yeah.
be more imposing physically, and I don't think like if you compare him to Kefren, like his brother, I think Kevin is like a faster, kind of like more agile, more athletic person. And I think Turam is like a
Yeah,
stronger,
more skillful as
kind
well.
of like a stronger, like a bigger, stronger type of player. But I think
Yeah.
Turam is, I don't think he doesn't look 100% as motivated as he looked last season when I was watching him play. He looks like he's taking it a
And,
little bit easier for some reason.
it's been issues. Who knows if it's something like internally within the club? I know when all the crap went down in the Club World Cup with Lautaro like taking a jab at Çalhanoğlu, and then Turam defending Çalhanoğlu, and then Marotta throwing his players under the bus by leaking it to the media.
That was
Right?
dumb.
When he started the season, whenever he scored, he wouldn't like celebrate it like he usually did. Now you see him a little bit happier in celebrating goals, but still, I still don't see like 100% commitment like I see from Lautaro, from Di Marco, from Barella, from Akanji, from others players. Even Barella hasn't been playing his best, but he still gets it everything. I can't say Barella has ever looked like he's just going through the motions and not giving it all he's got.
Well, maybe you can sell
But again,
Turam to Juventus, and then that way Juve have a number nine, and you guys get rid of that problem, and you can start Esposito if you want, or you can just use the money to buy Mateta or somebody.
honestly, if Juve can fork up a decent amount of money, I wouldn't be. I would not be mad like about losing Turam
I
because
wouldn't
we
be
got
mad about
Boni, we got
having him.
Esposito, and we still have Lautaro. Because as long as Lautaro's gonna be there, Turam's always gonna be number two.
Well, yeah, but they're different type of strikers, though. I mean, Turam is
Yeah,
more of
but
like
Esposito
a typical number nine.
Esposito can be that for Inter.
Yeah, yeah,
Boni
yeah,
can
yeah,
be
yeah.
that for Inter.
Hmm. Yeah, it's true.
All right,
It's
so
true.
they have two big, tall, physical players that are good, like with their back towards goal, and are good like taking on defenders one on one as well. So they're both good in the air. That's what I'm saying. Like Boni, before he got injured, he was playing better than Turam. It's been kind of slowly picking it up, and he's been doing well when he gets
Yeah.
his minutes. But he was playing awesome before he got injured.
But Boni's
But I feel
also a different
Thuram,
type of striker, right? Like Boni likes going, he likes running at defenders more than he likes playing with his
yeah, he's more
back.
of a winger. He's more of a
Yeah,
winger.
yeah, yeah. He likes cutting
I would
inside.
say his natural position is probably a winger,
Yeah,
more preferably on the left side.
yeah. So I mean, I think the natural replacement is Esposito, as we saw in this Udinese match. Like that's who was playing for Thuram, Esposito. So he's got like the frame, like the height. You know, it's the right type of correct of features if you want to, play the one with two strikers like that.
Yeah, but
Anyways,
I want him. I like the way they're slowly kind of giving him more time, more confidence. Like there's been a lot of hype around him. I don't want him to be one of those players that just never lives up to the hype. People put way too much pressure,
yeah.
way too much weight on their shoulders. So
What
been
are you
playing
guys gonna
well.
do? What do you think Inter is gonna do about Luis Enrique? Because he's talking.
Actually, I feel Luis Enrique has been playing well. I think people have been being way too harsh on him. I think
Did
it's
you watch
just
the
you could tell
Champions League
that
match?
the confidence is not there. Yeah, I did. I think he's done well. I think his issue is that he doesn't have the confidence to take people on one on one. I think he has the ability to do it. I've seen him do it. He used to do it when he played for Marseille. He just for some reason isn't doing it at Inter, and I think it's
Oh, they don't
confidence.
defend in the
It's
French
the
league.
biggest issue. Yeah, but I don't care if the defender takes the ball away. If you're not trying, that's the issue. Fuck it if the defender takes the ball away, but at least you try to take him on one. I don't mind that. But not even trying is what sucks because we might as well have Darmian playing that
Why?
role.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you're
I
gonna
was just
be
gonna say that.
if you're not gonna be any threat offensively, might as well have
Listen,
Darmian.
listen. If we're gonna sign a Brazil, is he Brazilian or Portuguese? I forget.
Brazilian.
If you're gonna
I
sign
made
a
a post about it.
Brazilian,
Like, how did Marotta sign the only Brazilian that can't dribble past a
that's what I
freaking
mean.
cone?
Like, if you're gonna be a Brazilian, you gotta be Brazilian. Like, we're not gonna be signing a Brazilian player that can't be Brazilian. Like the minimum thing that Inter needs Luis Enrique to be is Brazilian. Like, just be Brazilian, or like you're gonna find another team because we don't need Italian playing Brazilians. Like, that's why we get Brazilians. We want the Brazilian type of play. Like,
I think Luis Enrique is a solid player that can get better. Inter definitely overpaid, and I think that's the issue.
the
That paying
expectation is
25
gonna be
million,
high. It's
20,
gonna be
yeah,
high.
we
Yeah.
paid 25 million to bring him in. The expectation was high, right? He was gonna be Dumfries' replacement. Dumfries now goes down, so now you were the second option. Now you're forced to be the first option. Plus, it's messed up that your manager doesn't give you his faith. He puts in Carlos Augusto for the first couple of matches, who doesn't play that position instead of you. That's got
Mhm.
to be a ding on your confidence,
Yeah.
right? So, again, I think he's been playing well. I think he just needs more confidence. I like the fact that Inter have agreed to terms with Perisic. I've never wished for a team to do bad. No, I probably have. But I I hope that PSV lose their last next match in the Champions League. So hopefully we could get a good deal to bring Perisic back to Inter because I think that's what we need. It's just easy to defend against Inter when you know that all the threat is going to come from Di Marco and that side, right? Versus now, if we were able to have Dumfries or Perisic or a mix of both on the right side, that's going to create a lot of problems for defenders. It's going to create more space for players like Di Marco, like Chalanoglu, like Zielinski to get off their shots, right, to create opportunities. So let's see what happens. But I
Was
think
Chalanoglu
Luis
suspended for this
Enrique,
match?
I'll give him some time. He's Chalanoglu's injured, which is another huge impact
Mm,
for Inter. Even
yeah.
though Sušić has been playing well and
Oh yeah, he's
Zielinski
been
has
playing
been
really
playing
well.
really well this season, but Chalanoglu is just a beast in the midfield. He's like the Pirlo for Inter and has
He's a
been for
threat.
the past couple of years. So he'll be back in I think in 3 weeks to a month, but he's definitely going to be a big miss for Inter in the next couple of matches, especially
Yeah.
in the next and last match of the Champions League.
Fun fact: Chalanoglu scored 7 goals already this season. We're only halfway through. For a midfielder, that's pretty freaking good.
No, so I'm saying that Inter have been lucky because Lautaro and Turam, even though Lautaro is the Capo Cañonero right now, they haven't been consistent.
Well,
So they're
Turam's got
lucky that
six
they have
goals.
two. Yeah, but for how many goals do Inter have altogether?
Like
Nobody has scored more than Inter.
30 something, yeah.
So you would think that their strikers would have more goals, but you're getting goals from everywhere. That's not why they're lucky. Chalanoglu
Well,
scoring,
Lautaro is
Zielinski
the top
scoring, Di
scorer in the
Marco
league.
scoring,
That's a striker.
Esposito has scored, Boni has scored. I think a lot of the Inter players already have scored. Sushis has scored. So it's a good problem to have, but we need a little bit more consistency. And by the way, last thing I'm gonna say about this match, and we can move to over to Napoli and Sassuolo, is now Kivu is 0-7 against top clubs with defeat against Arsenal, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Which again, confidence. Kibu hasn't figured it out yet. I hope that he does, because if we can't beat those types of clubs, what's the point?
Yeah. Oh,
Then we had Napoli Sassuolo, the defending champs, and a struggling Sassuolo as of late. So no surprise on this one. 1-0 victory for Napoli. I think the only surprise is that Napoli weren't able to get a couple of more on them and actually struggled. They got an early goal from Lobotka
yeah, in the
to kick
seventh.
things off. But after that, not a whole lot of chances created, right? To be honest, I was expecting a lot more from the defending champs on this one.
Yeah, it's a really good shot by Lobotka on that goal, right? Like the ball was kind of cleared by the goalkeeper, and he hit it before it even hit the floor. Like he just with the inside of his foot, but he shot a
Oh, it's
rocket.
great finish, great finish.
Yeah,
That's like amazing technique.
yeah, and the defender was
That's like
standing right
that's
there,
the
but he could.
equivalent of a finesse shot
Yeah,
in
that was
FC.
very, very technical, very
Bit
technical.
of a deflection from the defender, like you said, that did help,
Yeah,
but a great finish.
yeah, and a couple good chances for Sassuolo on the match as well. Like they could have easily, gotten at least a draw from this one, but it didn't seem to go their way in the end. Like a lot of close calls, but it like even especially in the first 20, 20, 30 minutes, like they were very close to getting the draw, but Napoli was in many occasions fortunate. Like Milinkovic Savic had one ball go underneath him, and he didn't even know where it was, and he turned around, and it's a miracle the ball didn't just roll inside. He made a huge save in the 48th in the second half. So it was, I feel that Sassuolo is gonna really feel hard done because if you actually look at the match and the majority of the chances, Sassuolo were the ones attacking. They dodged the bullet with a McTominay shot on the 72nd or so. But this was a very entertaining match, so I had it in the background and I watched like a large part of it actually. Um, Pretty good game from Sassuolo, to be honest. Very entertaining.
They just haven't been getting the results, right? Obviously, they have a
Yeah.
few key players still out, but they were doing really well to start off the season. But as of
Mhm.
late, have been dropping a lot of points. Obviously, this was a match that you would have expected them to drop some points against Napoli.
Yeah.
I feel more for me, it's Napoli getting the job done, getting another clean sheet, still without De Bruyne, Lukaku, and Giza, right? Just thinking about how much better they will be once they have their what we all think is gonna end up being their starting 11
Yeah.
healthy and on the pitch.
Yeah.
They're
They're
gonna be
missing their
a
two best
very
midfielders
very
right now.
interesting team.
Yeah.
And
They're
it's gonna actually suck if they don't make it to the next round in the Champions League as well, because I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that those players are unavailable for
yeah.
Conte and company. So I do hope that they are able to sneak in at least into the playoffs. I hope that Lukaku and De Bruyne and Anguissa return, especially Anguissa, because I feel like it's crazy, but out of those three, I feel Anguissa is probably leads the biggest hole for Napoli with everything that he does box to box. He's just that incredible player, and usually the one that bails them out last minute when they do need a clutch goal as well.
Yeah. And speaking of Napoli, I think also they seem to be opening up spots in their rosters for some sort of move in the midfield because they got rid of Luca and Lang.
They want to get rid
Uh,
of Noah Lang as well. I think Noah Lang may be like a quick flip.
yeah, I think they've
Apparently, he
already
hasn't
have
been
some
doing that
sort of
well.
a deal in place for Noah Lang to leave, maybe on loan, but that still needs to be confirmed. But that's the motion in the ocean. That's what we're hearing. The scuttlebutt on the web, so to speak.
Let's see. Let's see what ends up happening. I think it's just a matter of getting the players that they're missing back, and it's gonna help them out even more that the players, the second and maybe the third in line in some of those positions, are getting playing time.
Yeah,
Because when they do have a full squad, I think they're gonna play a lot better together. It's gonna make more players like McTominay right a lot better because he's gonna have a lot more space. Right, it's just gonna have a trickle effect on the entire team, and when you have a solid defense as well, I think again, I still think that Napoli are going to be there just fighting for the title this season for sure at the end of it.
yeah.
And then we had a game that we can skip, right? We don't want to talk about Cagliari, Juventus,
We don't
right,
need to talk
Tito?
about it.
I'm not sure
We don't
you want
need
to
to talk
talk
about it.
about this one,
I mean, what I want
right?
to say
So
is like 78% possession for Juve in this match. In a match where Cagliari had literally a single shot on goal in the entire game, and they scored that.
hey, they had
Uh,
two shots,
no,
bro,
no, one
two.
shot. The
They had
positioning,
two,
I mean, on goal, right? Like the only shot that actually went
two
towards the
shots
goal
on
was
target, two
that
shots on
one.
target,
They
fifty
sucked.
percent.
78% possession, and then it's just like it's here. It's the concentration. It's like when you're dominating a game completely, but you're not putting the chances away, and then you basically fall asleep on a single play. The goalkeeper placed just the wall. The positioning of the wall was like ridiculous. Like I don't even know why they placed it that way. And they just basically fell asleep on that player that was standing right next to the wall with a clear shot on goal. Like it's
But
got to be
what's the
annoying
deal?
for Spalletti,
Why
you know.
did Perin start this match? Is
Spalletti just wanted to give him like some minutes, right? Because they're talking about him leaving the club because he's not getting a lot of playing time. And so, I
I
mean,
can see that.
Cagliari should be a game where you can play with your second keeper with no issue. But apparently, because we couldn't score up front, Jonathan David had a terrible game in this one. I feel bad for Kenan Yildiz because he hit the post once.
The,
He had he, somebody had a
I would
couple of
like to
spectacular saves.
know how many matches Yildiz has had this season where he hasn't hit the post or the
Yeah,
crossbar.
he has to be leading the league in crossbars and posts for
Absolutely,
sure.
at least hitting the post for sure,
Yeah, like
hands
all
down.
the
Because
freaking time.
I feel he does it not sometimes even more than once per game, but at
Yeah,
least once per game he hits the post.
yep.
And
But
unluckily for him, usually they go the other way. They don't go. They're not going in.
yeah, but that's the crazy thing. And then you see, bro, like you see the ratings that they give players. Like for example, the guys at Gazzetta dello Sport. Like you see the ratings they give players. They give Cagliari. Everybody in Cagliari has a 7. Like how? And everybody in Juve has a 5. Like how the fuck does a team that has 78 percent
Expectations,
possession?
because
No,
they look at
listen.
odds.
78% possession, and we dominated the entire match, and we could have scored easily 4 goals. We just had either bad luck or just like shitty finishing at the end. But how's that performance like a 5? And then the guys who could only manage to get a single shot on goal, they get a 7. Okay, because they won. Yeah, they won the game. That's true. But honestly, when I saw that defeat, how I felt was more like this is how this sport is. It doesn't matter if you have the best team, right? Because you can have the best team and you hit the post 3 times, never score. The other team scores once and you lost. It doesn't matter. You can have the ball 80% of the time and they counterattack once and they hit you on the break and they score 1 goal. They park the bus and you lost because this is how this game works. And that's literally what Cagliari did
Especially in
using,
the Italian league.
yeah, and a team that has Jeremy Mina on their roster. Obviously, they're gonna. just pick the most
My
annoying
favorite
ass
player,
player in the world.
my
He
man.
completely annihilated Jonathan David. He completely annihilated Jonathan
Listen,
David
I
in this
hate
one.
him. There's no player I hate more than Jerry Mina because he's an asshole. But if Inter sign him, I would be completely fine because he's one of those players that you don't want to play against him,
Oh yeah,
but you
he's
would
so
love
annoying,
if they're in your team. You would
bro.
love to have him on your team because he's
He's
a great defender. He
such a
gets in
prick.
people's heads,
Yeah,
and he also scores. He's a threat from set pieces as well. So
yeah. Okay, he's a big dude.
uh,
But one thing that Spalletti got really, really wrong in this match is,
the starting
if,
lineup because it's terrible. Sorry, but the starting
bro,
lineup, it's like you weren't going for the win.
why is Cope Miner starting? That's the question. That's the only
That's
question I
one
have.
that should be
Why is
Duran right there.
Kefren Turam? That's the only change you had to make. Everything else was okay. Kalulu, Bremer, Kelly, Cambiaso, Locatelli, Turam, McKenny, Miretti, Yildiz, David. That would have been perfect. But why does he stick Coke Miners in there? He can't run. He runs like he looks like he has like a rubber band like tied between both his knees when he runs. Like he doesn't move his entire leg. He only moves like the bottom part of his legs when he's running. He has a very weird way of running, and he's very slow.
Was was Segrova available?
Yeah, he was. He played. He actually came in on the 66. But
Okay,
then the thing is,
Conceição
look,
was available
listen.
as well.
Yeah, dude, like
Because
listen.
why don't you put Conceição or Zegrova on the right?
It's got to
You
be one or the
take
two. But
Locatelli
then,
off, leave Locatelli on the bench, put McKennie there. Obviously, Cobb Miners on the bench for Turam in his place, and I think that should be the squad right there for you.
listen, I think Miretti had a great game in the last game, so it's normal that he played him again. And I don't think he had a bad match. Miretti was actually one of the better players.
No, but
Um,
Miretti can stay on. I'm saying, right, move McKennie where Locatelli is playing a little bit further in the midfield, right? You put
yeah,
either
yeah,
Conceição
yeah.
or Zegrova on the right. You take up minus the head out, put Turam in. You leave Yildiz, you leave Miretti, you leave Jonathan David because it's the best option you have right now up front. So
Nah, but
you
listen,
can't
bro.
do
Like
jack shit.
honestly, as much as I think that Locatelli is not like a Juve level player, he's never been and will never be. I think the way that Spalletti is playing now with that 4-3-3, he is doing a lot better because he has a lot less
No, you love him
responsibility
now. You
in
love
the
him.
midfield. And I'm not saying I love him, but he had a really good game in that 5-0 win. He had a decent game in this one, even though he made some very stupid passes, which almost cost us the game. Uh, which actually, we ended up losing. But his stupid passes, and he did it again in this Champions League match. Again, a couple of stupid passes. He always has like some sort of brain fart during the match that is almost, completely tragical. Even in the Benfica match, like he made a pass like from the middle to the middle. I was like, the fuck are you doing? But we are not talking about that match right now. But even then, like if he just plays in the middle in front of the defense and he just does like a limited job, he's okay. We can have McKenny and Turam do the rest of the work in the midfield, right? And then we can worry about attacking with Yildiz Miretti and the striker, or Conceição Yildiz and the striker, or Zegrova Yildiz and the striker. But what you can't do is what Spalletti did, which is Conceição's not starting, Zegrova's not starting, and I'm gonna bring them both on. They literally do the same thing. They're both
Yeah,
like a lefty who plays on the right side and takes people on and crosses.
yeah.
It's,
Or shoot on goal.
and then it's just confusion. Like at that point, you know. That's why we didn't win
I
this
mean, you
game.
have the
It's just
players. Honestly, I think you have the players. I think it's more either one of the players that you already have being consistent up front and scoring some goals, or finding something in
we
the
need a
market, which would
midfielder, man.
suck because you just spent a ton of money in bringing in Jonathan David and
We
Openda.
need we need a midfielder and we need a right back. We need a right fullback or somebody who could play on the
I
right
don't
wing.
know, man. Kalulu, I like Kalulu.
Kalulu's gonna
I
play
think
center
Kalulu has
back.
been playing well.
Kalulu's not a fullback, so he's gonna play center back. So if we have
But he's
his
been playing on the right because you have
he's
Kelly and
been
Bremer
playing
in the
there
middle.
because we don't have anybody that could play on the right convincingly. You know, Spalletti doesn't trust Kostic from a defensive perspective, and that's reinforced by the fact that he played him as a winger in the last match. And then Cambiaso, you
And
could
he has
move him to the
Cambiaso on
right.
that side as well, right?
You can move him to the right, but he's a natural lefty. He plays better on the left. He doesn't want to. He probably doesn't want to mess with that, so he is actually playing him on the left side. We need to get somebody that can actually run up and down that right wing and take people on, because the problem with Kalulu is he is, after all, a defender. So when he gets to that final third of the pitch, if he doesn't really have like a clear path to the cross, he's a good crosser, decent crosser,
No,
but he's not gonna dribble past anybody to get the cross. You know what I
no,
mean? And that's where we
no.
lose
He's
it.
not that type of player.
Yeah, we need like a Joao Cancelo type of dude that's like gets to the last couple meters and can take somebody on, pass them, and then put the pass in. But Kalulu's not gonna
Kalu-
do that.
Kalulu went to the same school of dribbling that Luis Enrique did.
Yeah, he's not the most agile with the ball at his feet, but he's a good passer, and he's a good defender. He's good positional awareness. But I don't think, again, like I don't think he's gonna be playing right back, right full back. If we continue, like he's probably gonna play next to Bremer on the defense, like in the center of defense.
Hey, but props to Cagliari, right, for getting
Yep.
1-0 victory and 3 points against Juve. Definitely unexpected for Juve.
Yeah.
Uh, they stay in the same spot as far as the table, right? They're in fifth place, right behind Roma right now, with Como nipping at their heels,
Yeah.
which Como have been playing great. We'll talk about their matchup in a little bit, but we'll talk a little bit more about Inter and Juve with the Champions League matches that just took place as well.
Yeah.
But surprising to say the least, that matchup from a Juventus
Oh
standpoint.
yeah, for sure.
We
Like
had
that
a
was not one we were
then the
gonna
next
lose.
game, not a whole lot to say on this one. One of the donuts game, Parma Genoa. Two teams that have been struggling, to put it politely. Donut in this one. Uh, Not a whole lot to talk about. Didn't watch this game. Don't know if there was anything specific that you wanted to call out on this one. For me, it kind of sucked because I was pumped, or have been pumped since De Rossi took charge of Genoa, while they had a very good outing against Milan. But this was kind of a lackluster performance, and it showed in the results with the donuts for both teams on this one.
Yeah, it's pretty even, almost 50-50 possession, 2 to 3 shots on goal for each team. There's not really a lot to say, right? 25 to 22 crosses. Like it just, yeah, not a lot. I mean, there were things happening, but not happening near any of the attacking thirds of each team. So pretty boring one. I was
Yeah,
hoping,
and I
like you
think
said,
also it's kind of like the playing style of both managers as well. These are two new managers, right?
yeah,
That at least
forced to be
both have
defensive.
brought, yeah, but have brought a little bit more stability
Yeah.
within their teams since taking charge. But it kind of showed it was what we would definitely call a stalemate on this one, which doesn't help either team. Both of
Oh
them
no,
walk
actually, I think it
away
does. I
with
think it
one
does
point.
though, bro. Because like, think about it. These are two teams that are near the bottom of the table, right? Like, Parma is 13th, Genoa 16th.
Yep.
So every little point you can get when you're down there, like this could have been a loss, and you were getting
Well,
0 points. You know,
Fiorentina is out of, well, almost out of the relegation.
yeah, they're right. They're still there, but yeah, but they're mathematically, at least from a
Yeah,
from a
but they're right where we expect this team to probably end up or finish at the end of the season, right? Maybe they can
yeah,
climb up one or two more spots, but I'm not expecting Parma or Genoa to contend for anything this season.
no. Parma
I
has
think
just been like a very
stay
annoying team for
avoiding
everybody.
relegation is probably the aim there.
And keep annoying the big ones, because Parma has been annoying all the big teams, like with the way they play. Like they've been a tough customer for a lot of the bigger squads.
No,
Um, can't say the same about Genoa though. They've been getting their ass kicked for the most part.
no, no. Then we had a good matchup with a team that has coming back from the dead, literally. Fiorentina versus Bologna. 2-1
they
victory
needed it.
for Fiorentina on this one.
Yeah,
Mandragora getting on the score sheet on the 19th minute, then Piccoli in the 45th, and then we had former Interista Giovanni Fabian getting on the score sheet for Bologna in the 88th minute.
yeah,
Obviously surprising because Bologna have been by far the better team this season. And that's just leaving it at that because Fiorentina has sucked. Um, but Fiorentina, again, they're like a wounded animal. They're a very dangerous team moving forward because they're
yeah.
digging themselves out of that hole. They're desperate. They have talented players, which I think is why everybody's surprised at, for the start that they've had to this season. Good to see them get a victory and against a solid team and one of the top teams in Serie A this season.
Well, can I give you a crazy stat about this game? Uh, Crosses 42-5 for Bologna. That's
That's
crosses.
ridiculous.
That's
That's
insane.
ridiculous.
42-5,
That's
unless it's
ridiculous.
a typo. 42-5? So Bologna had 61% possession and they
They're
couldn't win
like
this match.
having just doing a drill and just
They're just, yeah, they're just like
putting
crossing the
crosses
ball,
into the
crossing the
box.
ball, crossing the ball, crossing the ball. They definitely like their wing play. You can tell that. I mean, by the stat, right? It's crazy. But still, it's not how much of the ball you have, it's what you do with it. Obviously, none of those crosses were going in the right direction for Bologna today.
Isn't it crazy? Because uh, Moise Kean didn't play, right? They had Piccoli up front who scored.
Hmm.
Parisi, who I think I thought a couple of years ago, I thought that he was going to be one of the Italian prospect that had a shot of just continuing to develop and make it to the national team. Maybe he still does. Who knows? But um, I was surprised to see him get a start. Goodmanson, which everybody hyped him up
Yeah,
2 years ago, hasn't really taken that next step since joining Fiorentina. So they didn't have their key man on this one, playing against a solid defensive team in Bologna, very well organized. So I was very surprised to see them get the victory, and good for Fiorentina. Definitely, they need all the points that they could get, and this has to be a confidence booster for the players and the manager.
yeah. I mean, and Italiano, on the other hand, Bologna's manager had like a kind of like a statement in halftime. He took out Freuler, Orsolini, and Odgaard, like three of his midfielders. He took them out at halftime. It's basically you guys are playing like shit. Like I don't want to continue seeing this. But it's crazy because they had so much dominion of the match. But I guess some of the players from Fiorentina, like Dodo and Gosens, really had good game, and they're starting to play like we were expecting them to play at the start of the season. At least them, right? Gosens coming back is a big deal. I think Mandragora also is starting to mature into kind of like a more consistent player. He had a good goal too, a good game. And so
And
did Fagioli.
props for the gesture, right in memory of Rocco pulling out the jersey with his name. I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
almost every team kind of started the match with just a moment of silence uh, for Rocco Comiso. So, but it was good to see Mandragora grab the jersey right after scoring his goal for Fiorentina.
Yeah,
R.I.P. Rocco Comiso.
yeah,
Good goal from Mandragora. Good victory for Fiorentina. Interesting and maybe something to keep an eye on what you mentioned with the manager taking out the midfield line. That's that's certainly a statement. Now, whenever managers do that, is it gonna have the result that they expected, or is it gonna pretty much just slap them in the face in the face?
yeah.
Uh,
Well, it
but
was a statement to me. You know what I mean? It's like we can't be playing like this. But honestly, like I thought they should have probably won this match. But again, that's how this game is.
it's sad to see for Bologna. You hope that they could turn it around because they're a solid team and have been for the past couple of seasons.
Yeah,
We had a Roma Torino for the next match. 2-0 victory for Roma. Malin, new signing for Roma, getting on the score sheet, which is awesome because they were in
Immediately.
desperate need of goals. In goal scoring, Malin, who was not, I think he did was doing a lot better before he went over to Villa. Um, wasn't getting as much production as everybody expected over there. I
Yeah.
think he's a very good signing for Roma, especially with like Dybala and some of the other players that they have that get injured quite often. And starting kicking things off with a goal in the 26th minute, and then we had Dybala score in the 72nd minute for another win for Roma and another clean sheet for Roma as well.
Oh, Dybala with the assist on the Malin goal as well. Like that pass from Dybala on that goal was just sick, right? He was at the edge of the box. He left footed past like probably past like
He's a
five
magician. He's a
defenders.
magician, dude. Imagine a Juventus right now with Dybala and Yildiz and Turan.
Yeah. I mean, Dybala would be injured, but it'd be, you know.
Probably. But when he
When he plays,
plays,
he's amazing.
he's amazing.
He's
He's amazing.
amazing. Yeah. He's a
Like his
great, great,
skill
great player.
level, right? Not only finishing, passing, his vision,
Yep.
and control of the ball is just world class. Dybala, one of those players, and right, it's funny because Argentina, he doesn't play in their national team because they literally can field 2 or 3 world class squads with how much talent they produce over
Yeah,
there.
it's crazy.
But he's such an amazing talent. It's just unfortunate that he's suffered with injury throughout his entire career, especially when he was at Juve.
Yeah. It was a crazy goal he scored in his game too with that little like side-footed chip over the goalkeeper. He just got that touch, man. He's good, very good technically.
Finesse, because
Finesse.
it was like a pretty low and awkward cross. He was very close to the keeper, and he just kind of flicked it
Over.
and put it in very difficult spot, like between
Yeah.
the keeper and the crossbar. It was a very nice finish from Dybala, who hopefully can stay healthy. Roma definitely need it up front. Um, but good signing, getting Maling. I think Maling is gonna be productive up front for a good Roma squad. We know that they have a solid defense. They're
Yeah.
at least they've been consistent with
And
their
they got rid
defensive
of
line.
Bailey, who wasn't doing anything. Like he was just basically taking up
Bailey,
a roster spot.
unfortunately, and ended up being a rotten egg. I thought that he was gonna do well at Roma based on how he was performing in the Premiership, but it goes to show people say, "Oh, the Premiership is so much better than the Italian league." The majority of those people don't
It's
watch Serie A,
yeah, it's just different.
so
It's just a
so
different
so they
type of
wouldn't
game, man.
know it exactly. It's just different style, same as if you compare either of those leagues with the Premier with La Liga. It's just
Yeah.
completely different playing styles
Hmm.
in all the top leagues in Europe.
Yep.
But again, good win for Roma. Right, as far as the table, they stay in the fourth spot, 1 point behind Napoli. So good spot to be in right now. There's still a lot of games to be played. Opportunity for you missed for Juve, right, to get closer to Roma in that fifth spot, but still a game behind. Still remains a very tight race at the top of the table.
That's right. And then we had
Then
Milan
we
Lecce. That was the last
Milan Lecce.
game of this match day. No, actually of this day.
No. We had we
There are
had
two
we had
more.
two
There are
more.
two
We
more
had two
matches.
more.
Yeah.
Milan,
So
who have been struggling as of late offensively, Rabiot had to put on his Superman cape the other day and saved them. He's been playing awesome. Milan, who were on fire, especially Pulisic, might have been fired lately. Anytime he played, he scored. But another team that made some moves in the market, they got Fulkrug, who got on the score sheet in the 76th
yeah,
minute. And I think it was a good signing for Milan. Definitely Milan missing a traditional number 9. Jimenez was given his opportunity, I feel, at the beginning of the season. He showed that
yeah,
he was not at the level to be the starting number 9 for a club like Milan.
yep,
They've been having Pulisic kind of fill in that role, but we know
It's
that
like a
that's not
false
his
nine.
natural
Yeah.
role either.
Hmm.
Pulisic is not a number 9. Same with Leao. They tried Leao for a while in
He's
the
not
number
a
9
number nine
position.
either. He's a winger.
Not natural for him as well. Didn't work out. So I think now pulling Fulkrug in, he's also a good player, right? That can play with it back towards goal and hold up play for some of those fast ass wings that they have in Pulisic and Leao, right? To hopefully open up some space and play some good passes for those runs. And he's also a threat on set pieces and a solid finisher. So great pickup for Milan, especially the way that they've been struggling. Another great game for Salamakers. I think Salamakers has been playing awesome this season as well. Good
Yeah.
cross from Salamakers for the goal
Leao
from
had a good game
Fulkrug and
too.
a nice header.
Yeah. Yeah, Leao also had a good game. He played a couple of passes, like one in particular in the second half around the 70 something minutes. It was basically a very easy chance, but the goalkeeper is able to stop it. But I thought like if they keep Leao healthy, they're always gonna be threatening. And then again, Milan, Allegri winning by a single goal, that's kind of his style. That's kind of how he does things, you know. And as they continue gelling, honestly, this Milan team can start to look a little scary because Fulkrug was a great pickup. Like a lot of people don't know, but that's an underrated signing right there. That guy uh has very good instinct, like very good goal scoring instinct, and he's been around in a couple leagues, and I feel he's gonna do well. He's a very good signing, and I think Milan are gonna be a very very large threat going forward, particularly because of the no Champions League football
Yeah,
that they play.
I think that's definitely going to help them. But I think right now, on paper, for sure, I have Napoli, Inter, and Juve above Milan, and
I
that's
don't
where
know
I've
about
had it
Juve, but
at the beginning of the season. I had them fourth. I still think that's where they're gonna end up, even with no Champions League, even with no Coppa Italia, because they also got knocked out of the Coppa Italia as well already. I still feel that they'll probably end up fourth this season.
no, Juve are gonna be
They
fourth.
can contest, but I feel when Napoli get their players back, I think Juve and Inter are just going to continue to get better as the season progresses. Especially keeping an eye because we got the transfer window. Who knows what other moves other teams are going to make? Right, Milan can make a move. Juve or Inter can make move several moves to fill in some gaps. But I don't think when it's all said and done that they're going to be contending from the title. I definitely think they're going to be competing for European positions. But I look at this Milan squad and I just don't think they have enough. If the other teams perform the way that they should, I don't think Milan have enough to stay with them. I actually
Well, they're
would
second.
maybe put even Roma a little bit above them,
Nah, you
if I'm
tripping.
being honest.
Milan is second, and they don't have European
Uh,
football. And
I know I know that Magic Mike is your boy
their
in
manager
goal,
is
right?
Allegri. So like this guy knows how to win by the slimmest of margins with teams that are
Uh,
not the
he lost
best.
it. Is
So
he lost with the slimmest of margins on this one?
no, yeah, they actually
Didn't
won,
work
right?
out. I think right because you look at players like Ricci, right? Was given the opportunity to start in this one. I thought we had a lot more expectations from someone like Ricci going into the season
Yeah, but he
than
didn't
what he's
lose
shown
with the
thus far.
slimmest of margins, right? Like they won this match. It was one
Oh,
nil
sorry.
for
Yeah,
them.
yeah. For this one, they won. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
But
like,
Samuel Ricci, right? Not the best. Stupinian, I felt, had a good start. Hasn't been playing the best as of late. I think Salamakers has been awesome. Rabiot has been awesome. Modric has been awesome. Leao has been playing better, but he hasn't been the Leao over the past
yeah,
couple of years. And when he won the Serie A MVP a couple of years back, Pulisic has been on fire,
he's
but
looking
he
good though.
didn't score on this one. But I think the saving grace is Allegri's playing style, is that their defense has been solid this season. That Mainan has been playing a lot better than last season because I think he definitely took a dip last season. And he's
He's
had
getting
some
the best out of
amazing
Pulisic
matches.
well as well. Like Pulisic has been reborn under Allegri. He's playing really, really well as also, not just him. So I mean, and they're only 3 points behind Inter, and they've lost a couple of matches. Like they took some time to actually gel in the beginning. So I don't know. I think they're gonna be, you know, just 3 points behind Inter with no Champions League to play. Just think about that. That's gonna be It's gonna be a hard race to the top. Still think you are gonna make it to fourth place. I think you is gonna be fourth. I think Milan is probably gonna be fighting it out with Inter and Napoli for the title. That's my opinion. But let's see.
Eh,
I hope I'm
it's
wrong.
they're the team that has scored the most goals after Inter.
Mm,
Right, have conceded only 16 goals. That's one less than Inter,
exactly.
and a couple of more than Roma,
Hmm.
um, who have the best defense right now.
Yeah.
Um, but they're solid. They're a solid squad.
Yeah.
I think if full crew pans out, it would be huge. And I think, like we said, the fact that they don't have Champions League or other tournaments to worry about, with players that are past their peak, like Modric, that are going to benefit from that additional rest, it's going to make them dangerous. But again, my opinion right now, just for right now, from what I've seen thus far this season, I still feel confident um, in my call out at the beginning of the season of having Milan finishing fourth.
You're wrong.
Right now,
Anyway.
we shall see. That then we had on our next matchup we had Cremonese and Hellas Verona.
Hellas Verona, because nobody more Verona
Another
than Hellas Verona.
Hellas, bro. Another nil-nil donut matchup. Cremonese, all right, one of the teams that recently promoted, have been playing very well this season. Some interesting signings like the likes of Vardy, but couldn't get it done. Only 5 shots, one on target against Hellas Verona. Right, you would have expected them, the way they've done this season, to at least create a lot more opportunity against a struggling team or up and down team like Verona has been this season, who actually have created double the amount of shots, 4 shots on target, but weren't able to get the ball in the goal. Nil-nil draw doesn't help either team on this one. We got right now, Cremonese are sitting at 12 in the 12th position, and Hellas are dead last in the Serie A right now.
Yeah, that's
So
sad.
not a good look for Cremonese that you weren't able to score against the worst team at the moment in the Serie A. And obviously not good for Hellas Verona, who keep struggling and now dropping points against newly promoted teams like Cremonese.
Yeah, but again, there's always the glass half full way of seeing it, which is they both gained 1 point. For these teams, every point is crucial, critical. So in a game that could have
Yeah, but
been
these but
a
these are
loss
the
for
types
either
of
one,
matchups that you would want to try to sneak in a win,
I
right? I think, hey, we get
understandable.
a point,
Hmm.
but you would want to get 3 points because more than likely you're thinking, okay, we're probably going to lose against the top clubs, so we got to make sure we could get as much points or as many
Yeah,
points as we can against these types of teams.
yeah. But one
I was
point
just
is better than
surprised,
zero.
uh, based on how they've been playing, right? Especially some players like Vardy. I was just surprised that they weren't able to get at least one past Hellas Verona with the way that they've been struggling. I think this is a team where they don't actually have a couple of players that can help other teams as well. So it's going to be interesting and a team to keep an eye on because I feel there's going to be some poachers. And there are definitely some poachers that are keeping track on Verona and some of the good players that they have within their squad. If they can't turn things around and maybe getting relegated, I think we might see some of the other teams grab some of these good players like Orban,
Y-
for example, who
Yeah,
has been
bro.
having a
I
good
was just
season.
gonna say, I was just gonna say, gift Orban, bro. Like, he's one of the players I would probably get. Like, if I were Inter, like I'd be looking at a player like that, probably. You know, not Juve because we already kind of got, but he's a right-footed player, so we could actually put Gift Orban as a secondary to Yildiz at Juve. But why is he gonna go to Juve to be on the bench if he's starting at Verona? Like, that's probably a player I would buy and then just leave him at Verona for the other half of the season and then bring him in next season. But he's a very he's an interesting talent for sure. I was gonna say
Uh,
him.
let's see. For me, that's gonna be the interesting part about them if they don't turn it around. Looking to see where some of the good solid players that they have, where they end up, what they decide to do, and when they end up, if they decide to make a move. If it looks like, again, like the team is gonna get relegated to Serie B. Then
Yeah.
wrapping things up with my kind of dark horse for this season, Como played against Lazio, 3-0 victory for Como on this one.
Solid win.
Badurina with the open things up fairly early in the second minute. And then we had the beast Nico Paz scoring in the 24th and the 49th minute for Como, which is awesome because he's one of those players I think probably I would guess and would be willing to put money without having the stats, but I would say that probably he would be second to Yildiz as far as how many times he's hit the post and the crossbar.
Yeah, it's
Nico Paz,
probable.
he's been kind of unlucky lately, but getting 2 goals on this one, back to his scoring ways, an
Uh,
amazing talent. So the Spanish Serie A team in Como gets another victory, another 3 points, and unfortunately for Lazio, they continue their roller coaster of a season uh,
yeah.
with
This was at home
a
too.
bad bad defeat at home
Yeah.
against, granted, a good Como squad, but a squad in Como that when they played against Inter kind of make them look like a Serie B squad. And now you get dominated by this Como squad. Not surprising, right? When you look at kind of the stat sheet, what we would have expected for this one, uh, with uh, with Como obviously dominating possession, being the Spanish team that they are. Just joking, but with Fabregas at the helm, they
Yeah.
definitely have that Italian Spanish style of playing, and they brought in a bunch of Spanish players as well.
Yep.
But another solid performance for Como. And again, I told you this is my dark horse for the season. I have Como getting to the 5th spot at the beginning of the season. I still feel confident with my prediction. They've been playing well. They're a solid
Yeah.
squad.
And bro, Nico Paz could have had a hat trick, but he missed the penalty. Like he had a penalty save. Like he could have even had like a hat trick in this game. This could have been four. You know, he later he scored a really great placed goal, but in the second half he
Good
did
pen,
have a penalty
good pen as
stopped.
well. It was a good pen, good save by
Yeah,
the
the keeper
keeper.
saved it. Yeah,
Um,
completely.
it wasn't a soft pen. It was a pretty it was well struck pen
Well placed,
to the
but
left side. So good save by the keeper, but Nico Paz apparently got pissed off because then he scored a freaking rocket from outside of the box. Just
nice
and
curved ball too.
celebrated it pretty emphatically to
Hmm.
show how pissed off he was about missing that pen
Yeah.
to get his second of the match and the third for Como.
And that puts him second in the Capocannoniere race, right behind Lautaro Martinez with 8 goals. Nico Paz, zero penalties, mind you.
Yeah,
Lautaro
tied with
also zero
Pulisic,
penalty.
but it's crazy, right? You
Yeah,
have two strikers or two players in Martinez and Pulisic that you would expect to be there, but Nico Paz, right, as
good
a
midfielder.
creative mid, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think he and Chalanoglu are kind of the outliers, right? Because right below him, who's right below him? Is it Chalanoglu?
No, Orsolini, Yildiz, and well, they're all tied. Orsolini, Yildiz, Leao, and Chalanoglu all have 7 goals.
And Nico Paz also with 6 assists as well this
Yeah,
season.
he's
All
top
right, so
three in goals and assists right now.
that's 14 goals created by him this
Yeah,
season so
everybody
far
who picked him in the fantasy football is racking up.
out of 31 goals, right? So that Como has scored thus far. So almost half of the goals he's either scoring them or assisting in those goals for Como. That lets you
Big
know
time
how
player.
key of a player he is. Why Fabregas was very reluctant to entertain any movement of Nico Paz potentially going to Inter.
But he
I
doesn't
hope we get
control
an
that.
opportunity,
He doesn't. He
but
has no control over that because Nico Paz is at Real
true that
Madrid.
that's Madrid. That's Madrid as well. But
Yeah.
I
So
don't know. Let's see with Madrid because Madrid have been getting more. Mastantuono has been playing lately. Maybe with the struggles that they've been having, they can give someone like Nico Paz and the way that he's been playing at Como an opportunity at Madrid. But
well, they'll have a new
I don't know,
manager,
man.
right?
Why get lost in the shuffle? Go to a team where you can be the star player. Why you want to go to Madrid and get lost in the shuffle?
Yeah. Also, he's playing with Fabregas, who's a Barcelona alumni.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think that Fabregas is gonna be, he's gonna be getting in his head not to go to Madrid. He's probably gonna recommend Barcelona to sign him. I mean,
No, but that's a
he
very
can
good
go to
point. That's
Madrid
a
because
very
he's
good
their
point.
property anyway. So, you know what
Because
I
I
mean?
think that Madrid is kind of like, ironically, like Como. Madrid are in a very similar position where they are a Spanish team, but they play kind of like a Premiership team in La Liga,
Yeah,
right? They don't play so much like the Spanish tiki taka, whole possession
that's true.
type of football,
They
right?
run
They
at
play a
you.
little bit more vertical, right, and
Hmm.
with more pace, with Vini, with Mbappe, right, and some of the players that they have. Versus you have Como that
Rodrigo,
play in
yeah.
the Serie A, playing like a La Liga team, which is paying dividends, which we've talked about, right? We wish that this rubs off on some of the Italian teams so they can change some of their ways, because I think that a lot of these clubs are just stuck in that way of playing that is not, it may be effective in the Serie A, but may not as effective when you go into the Champions League and those types of tournaments. That's why we see teams like Napoli, right, and Atalanta and other teams struggling, even though Atalanta has had some good results in the Champions League during the past couple of years, has
Yeah.
surprised a couple of top clubs.
And they're in a pretty good
But
spot
go,
still, like to qualify. So
right now, Como sitting sixth, right behind Juve. So again, I had them finishing fifth this season. They're right on pace. Great win against a good team and a solid team in Lazio. Sucks for Lazio and Sarri. He's gonna be chewing on that cigarette for a while longer, trying to take the stress down. As far as the hot seat, is there anybody that you think is more on the hot seat than Sarri right now? Because we have some other teams that are struggling, but
honestly, bro,
we wouldn't expect
I don't think
much from
anybody's
those teams.
risking. I don't think anybody's risking their position at this point. I think the teams that were full have already changed their managers, and I don't think that any of these teams are looking to change twice in the season. So to be honest, I think, for example, Grosso at Sassuolo doing an amazing job. He's not a risk at all. The
Mm.
Cremonese manager is also doing a great job. I don't think, he's at any risk of also like Nicola. I don't think he's going anywhere. So I don't know, bro. Like I think Genoa's already changed managers. Fiorentina changed managers. I mean, who's left? Lecce, Pisa. I think they're pretty much where they expected to be. So I don't think there's gonna be any hot seat type of situation unless there's like some sort of conflict or discussion or you know uh you know some type of jury at Torino type of situation. You know what I mean? Uh, so I don't think it's gonna happen for now.
So that wraps things up for Serie A. We Before we touch on the Champions League and how the Italians did, real quick, taking a quick look at the next fixture in
Yeah,
Serie A. We got a couple of interesting matchups coming up, especially on Sunday. We got Juventus playing against Napoli, which is going to be an awesome game, hopefully, knock on wood. And then we got Roma taking on Milan right after that one.
yeah, it's gonna be
Two
a
great
good
matchups.
Sunday.
I think those, by far, the best matchups of this next match day. It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on Inter and Pisa, because Pisa has surprised some good teams this season.
Yeah,
Let's see if Bologna can bounce back. Luckily for Bologna, next team that they're playing is Genoa. So hopefully they can bounce back. Same for Lazio playing against Lecce. And for Fiorentina, this one will be interesting. Fiorentina coming
yeah,
off the victory, right? Playing against Cagliari, who are also coming off a great victory against Juve. So that is going to be another interesting matchup, but definitely Juve Napoli, Roma Milan, the two games to keep an eye on moving into match day 22 of the Serie A. And just to touch before on the Champions League before wrapping things up, we have Napoli playing against Copenhagen. 1-1 draw for Napoli,
not a good
sitting
look.
in 25th. place right now in the Champions League table. Going to
That's
be
terrible.
interesting to see if they are able to get into that playoff position. If not, that is going to have, I feel, a great impact as well in the Serie A title race, because if Napoli don't make it to the playoffs at least and keep playing in the Champions League, they're going to have a lot more rest than potentially Inter if they make it through, Juventus if they make it through, Atalanta if they make it through.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see. I think no surprise here, but because when it comes to Napoli in the Champions League, or not Napoli, I'll say a Conte-led team in the Champions League, my expectations are always fairly low.
Yeah.
In this one, 1-1 draw against Copenhagen.
And
And
they're the only
Copenhagen did
Italian
have a
team
player red carded.
that's
Yeah.
not top 24 right now. The only Italian team that's not top 24. And then another interesting fact, as far as like if you want to know the level of the leagues, is that out of the top 8 teams, 5 of them are from the Premier League. So
Hmm. Now we'll talk a little bit about that when we talk about Inter's match, but goal from Scotty McTominay, the reigning Serie A MVP, but 1-1 draw against Copenhagen. You would think that Napoli would get a win,
yeah, it's
at
disappointing.
least on this matchup. So certainly disappointed for all Napoli fans, the players. I don't know if Conte. I don't know if Conte cares about these tournaments, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
But
of course he does.
surprising
It's part of
was
his job,
definitely
but
surprising for me. Then we had
yeah.
Inter play Arsenal, which I don't think Inter had a bad game. I just think they make some stupid decisions. The first goal from Gabriel Jesus was a great number 9 type of goal, right? Deflection, kind of a crazy shot in the box. Um, Luis Enrique was playing Gabriel Jesus on. He kind of stretches his foot out, hits it with the tip of the toe past Soman,
Bro, what was
scores the
Luis
first
Enrique
goal.
doing on that play, bro? He stayed behind, like he stayed way behind the line. Like if you look at the replay,
He
he
fell
fell
asleep, but
asleep.
it was a fluke of a goal. Like, dude, come on, you can't blame him for
No,
that.
but
Like,
that's it. Yeah, you gotta blame him
can't be
because when you look at
hysterical
the
like some
replay,
Inter fans, and it's get him
bro,
out,
chill
sell
out, chill
him.
out, chill out. Nobody's being
It's
hysterical, so nobody's being hysterical.
he played
I'm
him
just
on,
saying.
dude.
You look at the replay. He didn't play him on. Like the whole Inter line, everybody else pulls up immediately. And Luis Enrique just stayed standing like that, just watching the ball. Like he was completely responsible for that goal because otherwise it would have been completely offside. And he wasn't even
No,
near the
not
ball. He
completely
was
responsible
standing way
because
off to the
the
right side.
another defender could
Like,
have covered and say on Gabriel Jesus. He fell asleep and he played it
bro,
on.
like,
That's
that would have.
his bad,
That's why
but
you pull the line up. Like, I bet you the manager
I
was
don't blame him.
pissed. You're supposed to run with
I,
your defensive line. He fell asleep like once and it cost
I
them a
don't
goal
mind
there.
it, dude. That happens. I
And
just
then in
saw
the tenth
The
minute, bro,
PSG. I
like,
just saw the PSG highlight. Fabian Ruiz, who is a
like
world class player, world champion with Spain, he did the same thing. Shit happens, dude. Like,
yeah, it shit happens, but
whatever.
it's a mistake. Like you still made a mistake. Like
He,
you can't fall asleep in that type of play.
yeah,
That's
but
what
he
it
had a
is.
good game. It was a great goal. I think more than a mistake, it was a great goal from Gabriel Jesus and a great finish. He was exactly where he needed to be, and at the right time,
But it
and
wouldn't have
scored a goal.
counted
Bad
if
on
it
Luis
wasn't for
Enrique
this
for playing
dumbass
him
just
on, but I
standing
think
behind.
overall Luis Enrique, and honestly, I'm tired of hearing about Luis Enrique and the negativity. I feel it's way too
Bro,
much pressure.
I'll
Uh,
replay you some of the first episodes of this podcast so you can hear somebody being negative about Luis Enrique.
oh
Trying to go
yeah,
criticize that
but for
guy.
me is listen, it's one thing if all you're doing is criticizing a player. It's one thing if you're criticizing, but you're saying, hey, like I was saying at the beginning of this episode, I think he has the quality. I just know that he needs more time to build his confidence, right? Right now, he's not the player that we need starting. He
Yeah,
wasn't
it can't be a
intended to be the
starter.
starter. The starter was always meant to be Dumfries, who's been out for a month plus,
Yeah.
right?
And
But
he
he was
hadn't
supposed
even
to
been playing that well when he was actually
build
playing.
up to take that responsibility. And we talked about it, right? The fact that Dumfries goes down, instead of your manager giving you the nod and giving you confidence in putting you in that position, he brings in Carlos Augusto, who has never played that
Oh,
position, did terrible
but
playing
bro,
that
but
position. And
he sees him in practice every
not
day
only
though.
that, he
We
will
don't.
also put Diouf, who doesn't play that position either before Luis Enrique, and
That's
then
because
he
he
brought on Luis
thinks Luis
Enrique.
Enrique sucks, and he sees him in practice every day. I just think that he has a better
He
view of
doesn't
what he's
suck.
doing.
And listen, for me, I'll remember it once he turns the corner, because I know he's got the skill.
They're gonna sell him.
And I know he's been improving because I see all of Inter's matches. So I can speak because I know and I've seen him all their
Marotta's gonna
matches
sell him.
for fucking last 15 years.
Marotta's gonna sell him, bro. Like in the summer, Luis Enrique is going to Portugal.
If they sell him, listen, for me, they should get rid of Diouf a lot way sooner than Luis Enrique, for sure. They get rid of Darmian as well. Does
Yeah, he doesn't
nothing
even play,
for them.
right?
They need to get rid of Acerbi, who's way over the hill and already gave us
Way
the
over the
last
hill.
drop of football that he had in that semifinal against Barcelona. I think that was just like his peak moment.
The problem is nobody's gonna give him
And
any
that's
money
it.
for those players. They maybe give him some money for
No,
Luis
dude. Like
Enrique.
Acerbi can go to Serie A. Listen, if Inter Miami won him, we can make a deal.
You mean to
Make a
MLS?
deal for Acerbi,
Yeah.
for MLS.
Yeah.
But again, I feel, and listen, I may be wrong, but I feel that Luis Enrique just needs confidence, which is it's my issue with Kibu. I feel that Inter's main struggle again is their lack of confidence and their fuck psychologically since their ass whooping in the Champions League final by PSG. They haven't recovered. Kibu is not that type of manager, doesn't seem to be, because they're still having the same struggle. He's now 0-7 against top clubs.
Yeah.
I feel the
He
games
was
that
managing
Inter
Parma
have
last season.
won, I feel that the games that Inter have won this season, you can have Antonio Cassano get off the couch and be Inter's manager, and they probably would still win those matches.
Hey, you know what?
Until Kibu can win a derby, until he wins a derby, he's not even qualifying. We may not even qualify for the playoffs in the Champions League.
I think Mourinho took a jab at them when he said, like, he was in a press conference, right? They asked him after Juve's game, they asked him something about Spalletti managing Juve, and he said, like, yeah, because it's normal, right? Because great clubs get great managers, and then he mentions like different clubs like Roma, right? Like he said, Roma got Gasperini, Milan got Allegri, and he said another example, and then he went, and he didn't mention Inter, and then he went and said, what's not normal to me is when you see a great team and they have a manager who's never won anything, who's never coached a big team. That's the anomaly. And I think he was taking kind of jabs at like Juventus hiring Tudor, Inter hiring Kibu, like that type of thing. Because he said it in kind of a snarky way. And obviously, he's a former Inter manager, and him not mentioning Inter kind of makes
but
his point.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong because Kibu.
It's true. He's right.
First of all, he won the treble at Inter under Mourinho. He was a starter for that treble team in 2009.
Yeah.
Right. So there's an emotional aspect. He was the Primavera coach at Inter as well.
Yep.
So I feel it was also an emotional, which I don't mind because I want a coach that has some tie to the club. Otherwise, he's gonna be a Mourinho who got to Inter. He made Moratti spend all the fucking money he had, and we won the treble. But after that, it was like.
No, he said, "This is what I need to win."
Inter went from their best season ever to their worst season ever in 2 years, in 2 seasons.
Yeah, it's the same shit that happened to Juve. Same thing.
So, like, I get it. It's emotional. For me, it's like, listen, I'm faithful, and I hope that he is the manager that Inter need. But until you win, you get some wins against top clubs, especially get some derby wins against Juve, against Milan, get a win against Napoli, or like, I'm sorry, but these matches, Inter is supposed to win regardless, without even a manager. With the club that they have,
well, not against Arsenal.
a well-oiled machine. Like literally, you look at Inter right now, their starting lineup is literally the same fucking starting lineup that Inzaghi had. It's literally the same team,
pretty much
playing the same formation, the same style of football.
Pretty much. But they were playing the top team in Europe right now. Like Arsenal right now is
but
undefeated.
Arsenal, listen, props to Arsenal, because I saw the game.
Jokeris' goal was nasty
in the Champions League last time. That went a completely different way. Good goal by Gabriel Jesus. The second goal is the one that really pissed me off from Inter, because Arsenal do this thing in corners where they have all their players come
Just bunch
running
up.
from
Yeah,
behind the
they bunch
second
up in the
post,
back, in the
and then
second post,
they have some
the
players
far
running
post.
from the middle towards goal. The way that Inter defended, like all players standing still and not even looking at the players. Everybody staring at the ball and not looking at the players. You're standing still. A player is coming running with pace. It's impossible for you to defend that. The best way for you to defend it is get some players, put some bodies on those players, and avoid them being able to make those runs to the middle of the box. It was like the dumbest thing ever, the way that they defended Arsenal's corners. Even dumber that it didn't change going into the second half after Kiwu and the coaches had an opportunity to talk to the team about it. Prop to Arsenal because it works. I think they're the only team other than Inter in the top five leagues that have scored the most goals from set pieces. So it's something that has been working for them, and they have those types of players. But in my opinion, that was one of the dumbest goals that Inter have conceded thus far this season. And then to wrap things up, that Gyökeres goal, the defense just falling asleep completely. Another stupid goal to give away. Arsenal proved that they are a better team than
Yeah,
Inter this season. Kind of show why they're leading the Premiership this
and the
season.
Champions
Hopefully,
League.
they can turn it around. Right, it's been 26 years since they've won the Premiership. This may be their year. I was a little bit more surprised. I thought that it was going to be a closer game. I think it would have been. They didn't start with a couple of their key players who came in afterwards in the second half, but we didn't have Çalhanoğlu. We didn't have Dumfries, right? We were missing some key players on our side as well. But not surprised with the fact that Arsenal won. Just surprised with the fact that it was a 3-1 defeat for Inter.
At home. Yeah. Anyways,
Then what was the next matchup? Juventus versus Benfica. 2
uh,
nil victory
yeah,
for Juve against a tough team in Benfica, who usually get pretty far in the Champions League, right? They always show grit. They
yeah.
always have some good, young, talented
And
players and some
Mourinho
good
as a manager, and
veterans.
also
So,
Juve had problems beating Portuguese sides in the last couple of editions. Like they
no,
always seem to
Inter has
struggle
struggled and have it's
against
been
the
a battle
Portuguese.
against Benfica and the Porto. So
They're always
we
tough.
know,
They're
we
always
know.
tough customers, you know. And then Portugal is the only league that's won the Champions League in the last 20 years. That's not been the EPL and the Spanish league, you know.
That's crazy. That's
And
crazy.
that's kind of merit to Mourinho
That's
when he
crazy
was
and
there.
sad.
Yeah, it is kind of pathetic, but it's well, money
And not,
talks
not
right
only
now,
that, because
right?
Mourinho was the one to win it with
Yeah,
a Portuguese team, and then he went to Serie A and he won it with an Italian team.
that's true. So this
So
this
actually,
team,
aside
this game could have gone
from
to
those two,
hell, like when Bremer kicked the Benfica player. I forgot who it was actually in the box, but the referee called a penalty. That was after Juve's second goal. But the goals
Mhm.
for Juve were like good counterattacks, really. And then Jonathan David pretty held the ball well for Thuram on the first play, and then Thuram was able to kind of squeeze it between four defenders. For the second goal, it was another like good team play where basically Jonathan David held up the ball for McKennie, who had passed it inside to him. It's kind of like a give and go play. And then McKennie was able to avoid the defender somehow, ended up on the other side of the defender with the ball, and then was pretty cool to actually finish with the inside of his foot to the right of the goalkeeper. So great like Juve were dominating this game completely. They didn't really look under like a lot of risk. But then Benfica kind of started getting kind of like a better rhythm into the match. And then Juve made a mistake, got a foul called on them on the box for a Bremer clearance. And fortunately for us, Benfica striker who went to take the goal the spot kick actually fell on his ass, Pavlidis, when he was gonna shoot. Like so, the slippery turf of the Allianz Stadium this time favored Juve instead of having us have Jonathan David slip as it usually does. And we were able to get this win, which is super important for Juve because it basically guarantees that we're going to get through at least to the playoffs in the Champions League. So happy about that. It was a good performance from Juve. Everybody was happy about it. So this is the trend that we want to see. Spalletti started with the people that he needed to start this time. Right? He wasn't playing around. Remember that lineup that we were talking about in the last match? That's who he started with again, and this time, and the result is the same.
I don't think Juve are guaranteed though.
Yeah, they're in the playoffs already.
They have the same amount of points as Inter, and Inter are not guaranteed. So
No. I'm talking about the guaranteed the playoffs. So the first 8 teams go directly to the round of 16. From 9 to 24, they go to the playoffs. So they're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs mathematically because nobody that's 25 to 36 can pass them. So the same goes for Inter and the same goes for Atalanta. The only ones who are not guaranteed a spot are Napoli. So that's the only Italian team that are out right now. Benfica are still not completely out, but they would have to win their next match, which I believe is against Arsenal. So they're pretty much out. But yeah, the other Italian team that played in this match day were Atalanta.
Atalanta, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately against
Who
Athletic Bilbao,
blew the
they
lead,
let
but
them come
Atalanta
back.
as well, right? So now looking at it, right, we at least got Atalanta, Juve, and Inter that are guaranteed to make it to
Hmm.
the playoffs,
Yep.
which is good for the Italian league.
Hmm. And all three of them still have a mathematical chance
Napoli
to get
tittering.
on.
Napoli have a chance to go through as well, right? They're sitting
Yeah,
right
they
at the
do. They
edge,
do. They do.
right? So
Yeah.
we may have all four teams, Italian teams, make it at least
Hopefully.
to the playoffs. It's going to be
Hopefully.
interesting to see either Juve or Inter can actually avoid going to the playoffs
Yeah.
with a win next match day.
Atalanta could
Obviously,
avoid it too. Atalanta's also mathematically possibly could avoid it. Like there's
yeah,
only
that's what I'm
2
saying.
points separating them from third place.
Napoli is the only one that really that they either get eliminated or make the playoffs right now.
Correct. Correct.
But
Yeah.
Inter, Atalanta, and Juve still have a shot of bypassing the knockout and places and
Mhm.
those games. But obviously, they're depending on a couple of great teams ahead of them, right? We have Barcelona, we have Man City, we have Atleti, right?
Yeah.
Some pretty good teams, and the likes of Chelsea, Newcastle, PSG, right? There are a lot of great teams at the top of the table.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
let's see
ahead
let's
of
see what
them.
happens.
Yeah, of course.
I
The
hope all
last
four
match
make it
day,
through.
bro, that last match day for the Champions League is gonna be insane. That's just gonna be insane, bro. Like because you think about everything that's getting decided and like the result of one game somewhere else can change everything because of the goals in favor and like the goal difference, which is gonna be impactful in the standing. So there's gonna be a lot of possible
Who does
ties.
Juventus play in their last match?
Uh, Juve play.
Let's see.
I forgot
Let's get
actually.
up.
Monaco.
I know we play Inter play against Dortmund, right? Which
Yeah,
is not the easiest of matches, but you would favor Inter certainly in that matchup. We
that's a
have
tough one.
Napoli playing Chelsea, so not looking good for Napoli.
Yeah, but on the other
Juve
hand, if they
playing
win,
against Monaco.
yeah,
Juve plays
but if
against
Napoli win, they
Monaco.
could knock Chelsea out of a playoff spot. So that would be good
Yeah,
for.
but Conte's not gonna do that.
I mean, Chelsea just changed
Hopefully he
managers
does,
recently too, so Chelsea are in a bit of a
which is crazy
transition
because I
spot.
think Maresca was doing awesome at Chelsea. They're crazy in the Premiership.
Something happened.
Juve Monaco, that's going to be an interesting one. Monaco has some good players. That's going to be Pogba's return. I don't think he played on in their last game,
Correct.
or if he'll play in this one. But it would be interesting if he does get to play against his former club in this one. And then I'm looking for who Atalanta plays next. Who does Atalanta play on their last match?
Let me see. I'd have to check
Union
that.
SG.
Oh, they have a
So
shot. They have a shot. They have a shot.
definitely favorable. I think the on paper, right, the easiest matchup, or the more favorable. I wouldn't say easiest. Never
Atalanta.
easy in the Champions League, but it's definitely Atalanta.
Yeah.
But let's
Juve,
see.
Juve
I
should be
hope
okay.
that all four make it through.
Yeah, Juve should be okay too. Like Monaco's not like a tough team this season.
I mean, regardless, and it's a little bit less pressure knowing that, hey, regardless, you're gonna make it to the playoff round. So
Exactly. You
certainly
could show
a
up.
lot less pressure than Napoli, that need to get the win and are going against a great team in Chelsea.
Yeah. I still think they could do it just because of the particular situation that Chelsea's going through.
Mm.
But let's see. It's gonna be a great Wednesday, next Wednesday. So everybody tune into that.
Yes, sir. And we'll be here with the recap on the next episode. Appreciate everybody joining us for today. A lot of football covered. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
All right. Peace out.